right, we are back. We are right back at it. And you know what? I think it's time to kind of leave a little bit.
Leave?
Yeah.
We just got here.
It's time to go.
Where are we going?
It's time to go out of this world. Let's see what we're doing. Yes, welcome to Out of This World. We're taking this to another planet with it. Well, literally, like we're leaving the atmosphere.
Ah, okay.
Leaving the atmosphere, yes. We're going in space. We're specifically talking about what NASA has been up to. It's something that has been incredible. I've always been infatuated with space as a kid. I mean, I feel like at one point, even if it's for a couple hours, every kid wants to be an astronaut as their profession.
It's so cool when you think, I always wanted to go to space camp.
Yeah.
Because that always looked so fun because you got to like feel like what it was like without gravity.
Yeah.
It looked like they put them in some cool little machine and they were bouncing. I was like, oh, I would love space camp.
Oh, for sure. No.
Yeah.
I would have been, honestly, like I wanted to get into, they used to have it advertised and I used to see commercials for space camp. And they would have like the kids in like the G-force, I want to call it, I might be making this up, but like the G-force kind of mechanism where it like spins it around and it does exactly what that is. It kind of depicts like you walking like this in this anti-gravity chamber.
That's right.
Always wanted that, you know. Always wanted that. Maybe, you know, if you guys do that for adults.
Seriously though, I think there's a lot of things that are just kid specific that us adults need.
Yeah.
Like a playground. I'm sorry, but like I know the gym is technically a playground, but if you gave an adults only and it was like to our size, adults would be everywhere.
I'm saying. I am saying. Listen, I want an adult ball pit.
Yeah. There you go.
Just be able to jump in a ball pit. I used to go to Discovery Zone. There was a Discovery Zone, and they used to have this huge ball pit, and I used to just burrow to the ultimate bottom of the ball pit. And just hang out there.
And just hang there?
I would just hang there. My parents would be like, I don't see him. They would be calling the people who work there. My son, I can't find him. And then I hear my parents calling me. I would just be hanging at the bottom. I'm like, yo, I'm good. I'm just
chilling down here.
Chilling down here. Yeah.
It's totally clean down here too. This is definitely where none of the germs are.
Exactly. It used to be Band-Aids in there. It used to be wild.
It was out
wild
of this
things.
world.
Out of this world.
That's right.
Out of this world. Well, look, listen, if you ever had your ear to the streets for the last couple of weeks, I mean, you might have missed NASA sending a rocket to the moon. I mean, we've been talking about a little nostalgia here, you know what I mean? But, you know, one of the things that's nostalgic, it actually came to life because it was pretty incredible. I mean, I was actually able to watch the launch with the entire cast of an upcoming play that I have. We stopped the entire rehearsal and caught it. It was epic. Anyhow, the mission was successful, and you have to tip your hat to NASA, but also give flowers to an amazing crew. I mean, it couldn't have been done without Team Rocket, you know?
I totally forgot about Team Rocket. That is a core throwback to Thursday. Wow.
This is the first. These are the legacy astronauts who've been doing it for a while. They blast off every episode. They blast off every episode.
Where they go, I don't know.
Exactly. But Team Rocket could never do what the Artemis 2 team did. No. But in case you did miss the launch of the rocket Orion, check it out here.
Let's go.
Engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon.
The integrity, AMT high.
The most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched.
Houston integrity, grade 2.
Humanity's next great voyage begins.
That's wild that you would go sit in there with all this jet fuel flames coming around you, and you're like, well, we're gonna see what happens. That's wild for these astronauts.
It is pretty crazy. I mean, you know, to be in that ship, and you know, when you're looking at the launch, I mean, the speed that you're going at to break the barriers of the atmosphere, to literally get in space. I mean, that is incomparable to anything that you have ever experienced.
100%. Yeah. It was funny because when the rocket was going up, they were like tracking it, how many miles it had gone and all that. And I was timing it and I was like, okay, it's going. I literally put my stopwatch on. I was like, it's doing 2 miles in 3 seconds. 3 seconds, 2 miles, 2 miles. And I was
That's wild.
it was that fast.
That is wild.
I kept looking at the tracker. I was like, that's going really quick.
That is wild.
Wild.
2 miles in 3 seconds.
3 seconds. Do you know how fast that is like
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
As we're speaking, another two.
Yeah.
My mind was blown, but I think it was so great that you and your castmates and everyone on the crew, that you guys all stopped, because it is a historic moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're so desensitized as a society in so many different ways. It's because we have so much information and so many videos and AI videos, and we see all this thing where it's like a crazy feat like this, that humans have figured out how to do this. I feel like a lot of people were just like, like whatever.
Yeah.
But then there are people who are like, no, we need to make sure we make this a moment.
Yeah.
And we all need to come together for this, because this is wild.
Yeah.
That like human brains figured that out and then brought them back. Like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's still like, it boggles my mind just to how do you conceive, how do you build a device that sends people out into space and then gets them back safely? Like,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't even, like, where do you even start?
Because when you go in space, you just float away.
That's what I'm saying.
Isn't that the whole thing? Like, we're gonna shoot you up and float, but no, we figured out how to bring you back.
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
That's the tough part.
Yeah.
And then now, and as we continue, we're going to cover it. But the advancements on what they're talking about doing now, which is really, setting up bases on different like, how does that even work?
I don't know. I don't know, but it's going to be fascinating to see, especially because of the change of technology and the ability and the capability we now have to go do those things.
Yeah.
It's quite something.
It's wild.
Yeah, out of this world.
Out of this world, exactly. And I feel like, as we were speaking about it before, being an astronaut was definitely my dream at some point. So, I mean, this was an absolute win for all of us. Now, with that being said, history was just made because NASA has officially brought back its Artemis 2 crew after officially sending humans further into space than we've gone in over half a century. We're talking about a 10-day journey around the moon and back. So now, coming back from a trip like this is easier said than done. I mean, it's not like they were just hopping on a Delta return flight, all right? Here's what I mean.
Dangerous parts of this mission for the 4 astronauts aboard the Orion capsule will come at re-entry. Why is that? Because Orion is going to come in at 25,000 miles an hour. That means it will compress the atmosphere in front of it, which will heat up to about 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's half the temperature of the surface of the sun. Now, this shield down here is ablative, meaning it's supposed to erode away against that intense heat, but in an earlier test on Artemis 1, that erosion was somewhat uneven. One of the most
Fascinating.
So, upon re-entry, a couple things for sure stood out. 25,000 miles per hour. The Artemis 2 is coming back into Earth's atmosphere. That is just, that type of speed is unreal. And then the temperature on the bottom is half that of the sun, the most powerful heat and light source that exists. I mean, it's unreal, And again, we speak about the technology that it takes to be able to get people out and then back. I think sometimes, we take for granted like what it means to get someone back in Earth from being in the atmosphere.
Like, I don't know what's harder. We'd have to ask someone at NASA about that, but it all seems wild to me. And I know that when they're entering back into the Earth's atmosphere, there's a period of 6.5 minutes where they lose all communication, where comms go down because of it's so hot and because they're entering back in, where it's kind of like, okay, we just gotta wait.
Yeah.
And everybody's sitting there on pins and needles just waiting on what is happening, right? Just making sure, like, are things gonna go okay?
Yeah.
Because there's only so much that you can do, but when you're talking about something being that hot and you have people in there, one small little miscalculation could be the end for everything.
Absolutely.
Which is so terrifying.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, yeah, we're getting back to space.
I know.
That's so cool.
I know. Really, really cool. You know, I wonder what it's like to be in there, right? You're in the Orion and going at that speed. I mean, you know, of course, you know, we're looking at it from, you know, bird's eye view, but probably being in there, I mean, what do you think? What are you feeling, right?
I don't know. Like, I've been in some, like, if you've ever been in a sports car, or if you guys have ever driven it, or somebody's driven you in a sports car and you're on an open road and they want to say, like, do you want to see how fast this can go? That's happened to me a few times where it's like we've literally gone from going like 10 miles an hour to going 90 miles just that quick.
Yeah.
And then they slow down. But that feeling of going that fast in under a few seconds or whatever it is, that was intense.
Yeah.
Like, and so I cannot even imagine that times 1,000. Like even on a roller coaster, you feel your stomach go into your back. Like you feel like you're being pushed back.
Yeah.
This is nothing can compare, I'm sure.
Wow.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do anything for joy after coming back? Like, this is the biggest thrill, the biggest adrenaline rush ever.
Yeah.
Is anything else ever going to satisfy you?
No, for sure. No. I feel like roller coasters, this is where, you know, I've seen like the memes people do. They get on roller coasters and they do like the blank face roller coaster experience. Well, they'll get on a roller coaster and just like purposely hold a blank face and the.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I feel like that's what it is at that point, you know, when you're going after a trip like this. But yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's crazy. Wow.
No, but you know, safety concerns aside, I will say that thankfully, you know, as we know, everything resulted in a safe trip back to Earth for the actual crew that consisted of Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, and you know what? Let's actually dive into who we had on the entire ship. Check it out.
Leading the mission is Commander Reed Wiseman, a 50-year-old Navy test pilot and a single dad who lost his wife to cancer in 2020.
Every ship needs a captain, and I'm ready to make those decisions, but I'm not making them in a vacuum.
Victor Glover, a naval aviator and the pilot for the mission, will make history as the first black man to travel near the moon.
Young brown boys and girls can look at me and go, hey, he looks like me and he's doing what? And that's great. I love that.
Pretty cool. I mean, they had a stellar crew. Honestly, history in the making, honestly, with Victor going up into space. And then, you know, the mission also had specialist Christina Koch on the scene as well, who also made history.
Mission specialist Christina Cook is an electrical engineer who participated in the first all-female spacewalk at the International Space Station in 2019. She holds the record for the longest single spaceflight by a woman. Now, she's the first woman to venture to the vicinity of the moon.
For me, that aspect of this flight isn't necessarily about any one person. It's the thing to celebrate is that we, as a world, actually, are living in an era where we know that we have to go for all and by all in order to answer humanity's call to explore.
It's powerful.
See, she went once and she's like, I gotta do it again.
Yeah.
See, like, that's what I'm saying. She's like, no, yeah, I went to the International Space Station. I can do the moon thing. Come on, hire me, guys. Do it.
Yep. It's just like, listen, I've kind of done it all, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I need something else that's gonna hype me up.
Yeah, amazing. But you hear these backstories. I know we have one more to get to as well. I mean, these are trained, very, very smart folks that are going up. This isn't one of those Jeff Bezos rockets where it's just Katy Perry with a daisy floating. No, we're not talking about a ride. Like, these are scientists that are being launched into space and having to control this vessel.
Yeah.
And hope it works out for the best. I mean, they are risking their lives for space exploration.
Oh, absolutely. No, without a doubt. And, you know, the thing is, you know, once they're getting up there, I mean, you touched upon something really important. I mean, these folks they're not just pilots, you know, they have they have scientists also attached to their resume at the same time. They're going up there, they're doing a lot of testing, a lot of analysis, observation, and they're controlling and taking back a lot of data that's needed for the next steps, as it's already been planned for Artemis 3.
100%.
And last on the crew, then you had Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen.
Mission specialist Jeremy Hansen from the Canadian Space Agency is a former fighter pilot who's now on his first trip to space. He's the first Canadian to ever leave Earth's orbit.
The other thing we've focused on quite a bit as a crew is just listening to other people's perspectives on the moon and how different cultures look at the moon.
Wow, I didn't realize that a Canadian was going with them.
Canadian.
Fascinating.
Big Jeremy out there, holding it down for Canada.
All right.
So I think when you look at NASA, when you look at this trip, I think what Christina was also speaking about was globally, this is such a huge accomplishment, right? This is something that's really, it's opening a door for literally another world, and it's the data that they're bringing back. It's really bringing people together across the globe, because it's such an accomplishment that you can't see something like this and not be extremely inspired.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. I think it's really, really cool. And the little kid in me who always wanted to be an astronaut, I'm able to live vicariously through this gang.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, you have to be inspired 100%. One, the fact that people are willing to risk their lives for the greater good of really exploration and humanity and whatever it is that, we're going to discover out there. It's important to figure that out. And also it just shows what the human mind is capable of. I mean, we talk about tech. Humans created tech. You know what I mean? It's like the tech wasn't just here. AI didn't just show up. Like, this all happened because humans thought it. So really, anything is possible. If you work hard enough, you try hard enough, you have enough years of experience, you can make crazy things happen.
Absolutely. No, and speaking of crazy things, you got to figure the distance traveled was over 250,000 miles from Earth before making a dramatic splashdown in the Pacific Ocean right off of the coast of California. And it marked the first time since the Apollo era that humans have ventured this deep into space, just pushing the limits of exploration, and it's reminding the world that we're not just looking up at the moon anymore. So this trip also allowed the astronauts to put Orion through a full in-flight evaluation, right? So the Orion was tested by the crew for the spacecraft's life support, the systems. They also confirmed that the Orion can sustain humans in deep space for long periods of time. So during several piloting demonstrations, the crew members, they also took manual control of the spacecraft, and they flew the Orion to validate its handling and also collect data. And that's going to guide future rendezvous and docking operations, with the human landers guiding the docking. So a lot of this testing a lot of it is navigation of the Orion. It's going up there, it's making sure you're testing all the mechanisms. And this is really, I wouldn't call this a test run, but they had specific plans in place, because they needed to make sure that things are working properly for everything they're about to do next. So this is almost like, this is if we're looking at a sports game, this is the first quarter. They're coming in, they're analyzing the opponent, you know what I mean? They're taking note, you know what I mean? And the coaches, they're taking the data back and they're saying, okay, all right, second quarter's about to begin. Artemis 3, they're preparing for it, and they're making sure all ducks are in a row.
100%. I feel like it's warm-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Warm-ups. We're just scouting, looking over, like, Dak Prescott, he's doing his little stretch thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, we're seeing it. Right, no, you're 100% right. I mean, my question is, are they reusing part of the rocket, or is it just this build? That's what they're trying to see. Okay, does this build work, and we're going to build it again? Yeah.
So you know what? That's actually a good point. You know, a large portion of like what's wild. I always recognize when they come back. So when the Orion came back into Earth, you know, really the only portion from takeoff that you have, it's the kind of like the triangle shaped spacecraft portion of the Orion, and then everything else, it's the rockets to get you up into space. So I'm not sure if they're going to reuse parts. I would think that a large piece of it is going to be a large amount of the rebuild, especially coming back into space at such a high high velocity and also like with that bottom portion kind of purposely being built to kind of like melt away. So I wouldn't be surprised that they'll probably use some of the parts, but maybe not the whole thing.
No, they just want to know, okay, our calculations, let's rebuild it again because this is what is working. And the fact that they were able to go to the other side of the moon.
Crazy.
Part of the moon that we have never, ever seen, with the view that we've never seen before.
That's wild.
And they also lost comms when they went there as well because the satellites that they normally are connecting to, it was on the moon was blocking it. The moon was in the way of that. That's how far away from Earth they went, which I thought was wild.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I don't think that it's when we look at the moon and we see the moon and we think that just naturally, all the crevices are kind of explored and we've uncovered, all that we need to, whether it's through, satellite or what have you. But it's just not. There's so much that we still don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I think we saw when the communications were lost for a little bit because the moon was blocking it.
Yeah. And I find it fascinating that we're the only country that wants to continue to explore, it seems right now, right? I don't know if it's just that we currently have the capability to do it. Other countries haven't put the effort or the time, or because it's costly.
Yeah.
This is a lot of money. We're talking NASA is federally funded. So this is us as taxpayers. We're the ones who are funding this now. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? And clearly we're thinking, no, it's going to be worth it to explore more. There's what do they know that we don't know, right? What's the reason to now do this and want to do so much on the moon? I just find that fascinating, and I wonder if other countries are going to start investing and we're going to have the space race that happened back in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Is that going to happen again? And then, like I was saying in the beginning of the show, it's what does that look like, right? We have the International Space Station, which is a beautiful thing. It's all countries. They all come together, and everybody's allowed to go in there. And everybody does their little testing, and you have all the countries. It's really cool if you guys haven't seen kind of a tour of the International Space Station. It's really interesting checking that out. But I wonder now if we're going forward with the moon, and we're the only country up there right now. Is it like, is this hey, this part of the moon is ours, and if you guys, how does that work? Because the moon's everybody's.
Yeah.
It's just such an interesting concept, and I think it's so back to like primitive roots in a way.
Yeah, like discovering.
Like, what does that mean? What about if another country comes up? Are they not allowed? I don't know. How does that work?
Yeah.
What? I don't know why that just. It blows my mind a little bit.
No, this is, it reminds me of I think it was a hidden history story that we covered. And this was months ago, but it was, there was a treasure that was found from a sunken ship. And it was trying to be understood who the treasure belonged to. Because although the ship belonged to someone, the treasure, by the time the sunken treasure was found, it was across another borderline, and so the people who found the treasure actually weren't entitled to it because they found it within the borders of the other country, and they were like, thanks for finding this, it's ours now.
Exactly. Which is so wild. No, it's crazy. Even if you go on, let's say, a cruise ship, right, and you're going through the Mediterranean, as the cruise is traveling, you are going into different countries just on the water, right? So there's an area of the water in the Mediterranean where, this is it's for everybody. It's international, also international in the air as well.
Yeah.
But then once you get to a certain point, it's like, no, that certain country has claimed that water or has claimed that airspace as their own, right? And so if you're on a cruise and you're within a certain amount of distance from that country, you have to pay tax to that country on stuff that you buy on the cruise ship, or if you're drinking alcohol on the cruise ship, you have to pay a tax on that. It starts with a V. It's like a vet tax or something like that, or a VAT tax is what it is. So if you are within 30 minutes or a certain amount of distance away, then there's no tax because you're in open waters pretty much. But if you're within a certain distance, they charge you on the cruise ship a tax. Because they're like, well, technically you bought it while you were in our land, so we need to profit off that.
What?
I recently realized this and my mind was blown. I was like, that is wild that a country, land, I get land is one thing, but now the water and what you buy on the water is taxable. people. Is that crazy?
That is wild.
Isn't that crazy?
That is wild. So
Yeah.
along those lines, like what happens? What happens on the moon? Like, does it, does it get to a point where it's just like, hey, you're on my side, bro?
Yeah, that's.
You know what I mean? you're on my side. You're on my section. You know what I mean?
Moon wars. Which is a crazy thing. And then it just gets back to realizing like everything is made up. All of this is like, we created all this. Currency, we created that. Money, we created it. Borders, we create. It's so wild because we're talking about exploring something that's truly never been explored before.
Yeah.
And really starting to make like livings up there. Like, are people gonna be up there for long periods of time? Like, what does that mean?
Right.
So I feel like we're just going back in a time machine, kinda.
It's
wild.
No, it honestly, it really feels like, we are back to exactly what you're saying, primitive times of discovering land and staking claims on this is mine right here. This is all mine and that too. And that too. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy.
We were here first.
We were here first.
I mean, it's like, well, what about Italy wants to go up there? No,
Right.
You can't come into the moon.
Yeah.
What? Like, anyway, I know that's not going to happen, but it's just funny to think about.
It is interesting. You're definitely going to see, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how things unravel.
The moon wars.
Moon wars. Well, as far as the moon wars go, I'm glad that we happen to be one of the first gangs to show up and pull up. And we are also invested into continuing our research on the moon. Because while on the mission, the crew, they also completed a bunch of tests to inform how NASA will fly future missions to the moon. So this included evaluations of how the spacecraft operates during emergencies, equipment malfunctions, and also all kinds of new procedures. And then the Orion crew survival system spacesuits and other critical spacecraft systems were also tested, all because NASA is going right back to it. So imagine, right, after days of orbiting, flying past the moon's far side, witnessing a total solar eclipse from deep space, capturing breathtaking images of Earth rising over the lunar horizon, crew comes back into Earth's atmosphere, speeds over 24,000 miles an hour, and then boom, parachutes deploy, and the Orion spacecraft hits the Pacific in a clean textbook landing, and then, like so, they're like, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Spanning 694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon.
Houston Integrity, splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown, waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts.
Well, I could listen to that guy talk forever.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing. Will the parachutes deploy? That's always an issue, right? It's so many things have to go right, and so many things have to be on point for this to be a success.
Absolutely.
And that's why when you see that splashdown, and you see that water's not filling up in there, there's no leaks, we're good to go.
Yeah. Well, that's even another thing to think about, right? Like, you're coming down, right? The exterior portions of the spacecraft, it's melting away. How are we to say that by the time then it hits the water that any cracks haven't developed and now water starts flooding in? So it's just like, yeah, okay, great, we made it. Now there's a flood in the ship.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just there's so many different elements to it.
So many things, but when you see oh my God, the video of the spacecraft of it coming back into our orbit, it was just going so fast.
Yeah.
And then it just lands in the ocean.
It's wild.
Luckily, a whale didn't eat it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I always felt like they needed more parachutes. I'm like, there's only 3 to slow down that thing. I feel like I would give me more parachutes.
Yeah, there you go.
Slow me down, slow this thing down before we crash into the water.
Yeah.
Because then it's like a cannonball at that type of speed. I feel like that type of impact you gotta feel that.
Well, 100%, but I think with just the 3, they were able to slow it down to when it hit 19 miles an hour.
19 miles an hour?
Yeah. Which is, still fast, but still, from what it was to 19,
that's
pretty good.
Oh, that's Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, listen, I need those parachutes.
There you go.
Those parachutes.
Oh, how cool, guys. Talking about space this morning. Thank you for that update with the Artemis 2, guys. We'll definitely be keeping you posted on all the happenings with NASA, but it seems like for the next probably 10, 15 years, we're going to be consumed with this, and I think it's really, really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to those astronauts out there. All right, guys, we are going to take a quick commercial break.